Hello and welcome to Doc to Me. We've had a shit ton of wine.
Hello, welcome to Drink to Me.
Welcome to Doc to Me.
Moms are just having fun. Hello and welcome to Doc to Me. My name is Heather.
And I'm Kathleen.
And this week we are discussing an episode of Snapped.
And we love women who kill.
I would say the list of true crime shows are like Dateline, Forensic Files, Snapped, and then Unsolved Mysteries, but only the Robert Stack ones.
God, I fucking love Robert Stack.
When he made the... Did you ever watch Basketball?
Yes.
When he made that cameo, he was like, maybe he's hanging in a closet by his fucking neck. I mean, he was a legend.
I would have married Robert Stack.
Oh, yeah. But before we get into that, let's take care of some show shit. If you'd like to leave comments or suggestions, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to email or donate on PayPal, our email is doctomepod@gmail.com. We appreciate every goddamn cent. We do have some stickers to give away, so hit us up with your mailing address. I'll get that to you.
Or if you live in my neighborhood, I'll totally give you a sticker for free.
But I'm not saying where I live, so that's
but
on you.
I'm not saying where I live, but if you know me... I'm drunk, and I'll give you a sticker.
I don't even know how many I gave you. I was just like, here's some stickers.
Here's some stickers.
So back to this brilliant show. Snapped premiered on August 6, 2004 on Oxygen. It does not feel like it's been that long. It's been almost 20 years.
I have been loving
high school,
me some
watching
Snapped.
this since high school.
Love me some Snapped. I like watching the women kill some people.
It's not even like the show, it's... We'll get into it.
We'll get there.
This show fucking made Oxygen what it is today, to the point that NBC Universal, the parent company, relaunched Oxygen as a crime network in 2017.
Because
Didn't we?
Snapped.
Wasn't that one holiday that was also an Oxygen channel, right?
Yes. Okay, so I feel like that, is that a streaming service? We should get Oxygen for streaming. Because right now
I watched this on Peacock. Peacock has Snapped.
I paid for it on Amazon Prime.
I should have told you. I got my Peacock because it's got my wrestling. It's got Eurovision, which I enjoyed today.
Okay, so I feel like we should go through all of our streaming services and decide who's paying for what and split the difference.
Yes.
Because right now I'm paying for HBO Go. Mm-hmm. We've got Netflix. We've got Hulu. We've got...
Do you have Discovery?
Oh, fuck. No, we don't have Discovery.
You don't have Discovery?
We don't have Discovery.
Bitch, you could have been watching Ghost Adventures.
What?
I will give you logins.
Okay, and we have Amazon Prime, but you have to pay for episodes of Snapped. And so
Why didn't you tell me?
I mean, I didn't really pay for it because I use my
You have so many credits, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, because I just pay
You're a Bezos bitch.
I am. I'm pretty sure I am the reason he went.
You're the
into
asshole
space.
who put him into space.
I sent him into space because I buy so
slave
much
wages.
shit on Amazon.
You're a terrible person.
Mm-hmm. But I really do love my 2-day free shipping, so I can't help
Target's
myself.
pretty good. I'm good with Target.
I know, but there's so much random shit. Dude, the other day I bought 1,000 baby plastic babies so I could hide them throughout my house to piss off my husband.
You saw that.
Yeah.
On the internet. Just why do we have those weird baby hands? And we hand them out to people all the time.
Okay, but then I saw them in the little cake decorating section of Walmart, and I was like, I could have just bought 10 of them.
Yeah, why
and
do
just
you need,
reused
thousands of them?
I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with 1,000 of them.
Look me in the eyes. Am I gonna find one of those in my house?
You are totally gonna find one of those in your
God
house.
damn it! I fucking knew it.
Not today, not tomorrow, but maybe next week.
But 3 weeks ago, you did.
I just got them yesterday. So.
Okay. You didn't think about it.
I didn't.
And I put
about
that
it.
thought in your head. God
and you
damn
did.
it.
Yeah. So, but I've already planned out strategic places in my house, and my husband doesn't listen to this, so I can already tell you. I'm gonna put one in the toilet paper roll, and I'm super excited. In the refrigerator.
He's gonna be terrified every time he puts his foot in the shoe.
Well, so did I ever tell you about the time with the cockroach? We had like a fake cockroach.
Yes.
Yeah, and like my kid and my husband would both like put it in like random places, and so like there'd be like I'd get in the shower, cockroach on the floor of the shower. I would like open like my like little Laughing Cow cheeses, and there'd be a fucking cockroach in the box.
My cheeses.
My cheeses.
My cheeses.
Not my cheeses.
Oh Lord.
I do love
What's
cheese.
wrong with us? We gotta. Okay.
I
am
oh my
God,
done.
you finished it. We finally finished the jug.
We finished the jug, and I am tanked.
Are you gonna be able to drive home?
I am totally gonna be able to drive home, and I am super excited to talk about Candy Montgomery. So, Snapped.
Spoilers. Oh, Snap. Snapped has had 30 seasons and 2 spinoffs, and there's over 500 episodes. So
it is insane.
if you really want a show to binge, this is it. If for some reason you've been living under a rock for 2 decades and have no idea what Snapped is, let's head over to Wikipedia.
Yes. I do love Wikipedia.
The series, Snapped, depicts high-profile or bizarre cases of women accused of murder. Each episode outlines the motivation for murder, whether it be revenge against a cheating husband or loved one, a large insurance payoff, or the ending to years of abuse, with each murder's circumstances as unique as the women profiled.
I do love Snapped.
And my defense to this show is when I'm asked why I want to watch women kill. There's plenty of episodes where there's also a male accomplice.
Okay, but also, I feel like when women kill, it's a little bit better, if I do say so myself. Like, I feel like we...
Because men, it's more like they kill for, like, a lot of it's, like, sexual reasons.
Yeah. Like, we have better reasons to murder. I don't know. Like, I feel like we have the hand up, the leg up, the foot up in society on murder. I don't know. I'm just gonna say
murder's not cool is my stance.
Okay.
Swear to God, if anything happens to your husband. Anyway,
I was with Heather.
Fuck you. It's a great show. We get interviews with police, family members, friends, and sometimes even the killer themselves.
Which is hella cool.
But it's like, you could tell, like, there's something wrong with, like, the outfit they're wearing or the background. Like, you're like, nah, this bitch is in prison.
What was that? Oh, that was that wrestling one.
Because it's, like, really bad
like,
green screen.
I do love a good shitty green screen. Green screen.
February.
February.
That was last week. Sorry.
February.
The episode we're going to specifically cover is the 550th episode of the series, season 30, episode 15, Candy Montgomery, which you are fucking obsessed with this case.
I love it. First of all, I'm gonna say it right now, if you have not read the Texas Monthly article, fucking do it. It is amazing. It's love and death, I believe, in Silicon Valley. Fucking phenomenal. It's like a 2-part episode or series.
I just remember I read the book Evidence of Love about this case, but that was many, many years ago. I only had one child at the time. So there's not a ton that I remembered.
I am
Have you noticed how many Snapped episodes there are of cases from, like, the area where we lived?
I did not know that.
Like, I know Texas is huge, but yeah, there's like at least 4 where it could take us less than an hour to drive to the location.
That is amazing.
No, it's not.
I'm just gonna say it. Texas is full of killers.
What was that? Texas is full of killers.
Texas is full of killers. Texas is full of killers.
So let's just... Oh my God. I'm gonna have to edit so much. Let's get into this. First off, I haven't watched Snapped in a while because the Oxygen app sucks. And I didn't know until I was doing research on this that Peacock, the streaming platform, had this.
I gotta eat a Peacock.
When the fuck did they get this new narrator?
Yeah, I'm curious about that as well.
Because the new voice isn't as terrifying as the other one, but I can imagine doing that voice for like over a decade would be tough on the vocal cords. She's fine, but it's just not the same. So we start off in Wiley, Texas, which is about 30 miles northeast of Dallas, and at this time of the case had a population of a little more than 3,000, and now it's like over 50,000.
Yeah, I was like, it is not a small town now.
Yeah, every time when they're like, just a small, quiet town, I'm like, no, it's not.
It is booming.
I know you hate it. Ghost Adventures. They did a case in Denton, and they kept saying it was like this small little town out in the boonies. I'm like, that's a college town. It's quite large.
Yeah, it is very prosperous.
It's not in the middle of nowhere. There's so many colleges there. Anyway.
You can't find parking for shit.
I know. Also, did you know this isn't the only Wiley in Texas?
Nuh-uh.
How fucking stupid is that, as big as the state is? Like, did we just run out of names?
There's 2 Wileys in Texas?
There's also a small unincorporated community near Abilene, and they're not even named after the same person.
What the fuck? How do you even do that? Like, I understand if you have, like, Paris, Texas, and, like, Paris, France. Like, how the fuck do you have 2 fucking Wileys in Texas? Like, that doesn't even work.
Well, it's not even the same person. It's 2 different people they're named after.
That's some bullshit. You guys are going to need to rein yourself. Like, I'm sorry.
This Wiley came first. Anyway, Friday.
Fuck you. Friday the 13th.
Friday, June 13th, 1980, at about 11 p.m., Richard Parker receives a phone call from his neighbor, Alan Gore. God, I wish my last name was Gore.
It is a pretty solid last name.
It's like I heard somebody had the last name Slaughter, and I'm like, that's so fucking awesome.
Dude, that's an elementary school.
Alan is out of town on business in Minnesota. But he's been having trouble reaching his wife at home, so he calls to ask Richard if he can go over, just check things out. Come on, Dick, go check. So Richard gets some other neighbors to go with him, and they head over to the Gore house. They are able to gain entry through one unlocked door, not cool.
In the front, by the way.
And walk into what could only be described as the perfect horror movie setting. It's already Friday the 13th. Like, that movie just came out weeks before.
It is a crying baby.
The house is dark and empty, except for the sound of a crying baby.
Which is like my nightmare.
Let's burn this bitch, get out. So they get the 1-year-old baby out of the house. The Gores also had a 5-year-old, but that kid was at a sleepover. They slowly start noticing blood on door handles, and finally come to the door of the utility room that still has its lights on. So it's this dark house, but just one room you can see, like, under the door, the lights are on. And you got a crying baby. Like, this is not cool.
No.
One of these brave guys opened the door where they find Betty Gore dead on the floor, just covered in blood.
And they're like, oh my god, she shot herself.
Yeah, it's so bad. They just assumed, looking at her head, that it had been blown off with a shotgun. Betty Gore, maiden name Pomeroy, was born in 1950 in Kansas and had 2 younger brothers. She met her husband Alan when she was in college. I guess he was a TA.
She was a student.
But once she wasn't a student of his anymore, they got together, and on January 25th, 1970, they were married in her hometown. So she's like not even 20 yet, and marrying this dude she met in college. Like,
it happened fast.
It is quick. I get it when girls would get married in high school or like right out of high school, but like she actually had plans for her life.
Yeah, she was like
She's
adamant that she wanted to be a
and,
teacher.
Yeah,
And, like, she had plans.
Like, just do that for a little bit. Like, you don't need to rush into anything. Alan got a job at Texas Instruments, that's a huge fucking company.
Yeah, it was fucking legit.
They're one of the top 10 semiconductor companies worldwide, and we all used their graphing calculators in high school. I remember having a speak and spell, which they also created.
Did you ever watch that one show? What was like fucking something fire? I don't know. It's gonna come to me.
Gonna cut all of those times.
Okay, hold on.
Just waiting for Kathleen.
Okay, you can go. I'm sorry.
Can't really go when you're looking at your phone and you're not paying attention. You're so lucky I like you so much. Maybe we shouldn't drink so much. We're too fucking old to be drinking so much.
We are... Halt and Catch Fire.
Can't handle our shit. No, I never watched it.
Okay, you
Is
gotta
it on
watch.
TNT?
You gotta watch.
Is it Riverdale bad?
Okay. All that middle part where I had to find it. Halt and Catch Fire. You gotta watch Halt and Catch Fire.
I'm cutting all of that. I'm not keeping me singing super close to the microphone.
It was super special.
What does that have to do with Speak and Spell? What's the connection?
Because the dad is like fixing the Speak and Spell. Like they're both like computer
Jesus
wizards.
Christ, Kelly.
It's a computer show. It's like working on like computers in the 80s. Like it's like
I just remember we were little hitting that F, U, F, U. Just doing that over and over again. Anyway, you get a job there, you're set.
he made bukus of money.
You're just a drunk bitch. Can't think of anything.
Please keep that in. I just need that where you call me a drunk bitch.
They buy a house in Wiley, have a daughter named Alicia, and she gets a teaching job at the local middle school. I also heard elementary school, I assume, because it's such a small town.
It's combined.
That's how my dad's was.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we went there, like maybe 15 years ago, and he was like, oh, there's a high school now. It used to all just be in one building. I'm like, that's fucking weird.
Like 18-year-olds
I can't imagine
with
that.
5-year-olds.
Like, I can't imagine that.
creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I assume it is.
Yeah, no, I would assume that it's like a middle and high school, or I mean like a middle and
Elementary school, yeah. They joined the First United Methodist Church of Lucas, which is now the Good Shepherd United Methodist Church. Checked into it. Where Betty first met housewife Candy Montgomery. Candy would be a complete pain in our asses. She's outgoing, very involved with the church. She's involved with the choir, teaching Sunday school. She's on committees.
She's a busybody bitch.
She's not our cup of tea.
No, like we would never be friends with her.
No.
In fact, we would
Make fun of her.
We would be a Betty.
No, I don't think we'd even be a Betty. We wouldn't want nothing to do with this bitch.
That's true.
She kind of seemed like a party girl until she married her husband, Pat Montgomery. Like, from what I read, like, she was looking to marry rich.
She had a plan.
They settled down, had kids, and she just sort of changed her life, quote unquote.
Did
There's
she?
an asterisk. We'll leave an asterisk there.
Yeah, we'll leave an asterisk there.
We will learn under the surface she's still the same person. So Candy and Betty become close friends because their kids are friends. The kids hang out together, sleep over at each other's houses. Betty, as many of us do, suffered from postpartum depression. So after she and Alan had their second daughter, she had some issues with that, which led to them having marriage problems.
Same.
They had gone to some sort of marriage counseling services sanctioned by their church, and things seemed to be going better in the relationship. And they had planned to go to Europe a week before Betty passed.
Yeah, like, it was literally like, I mean, if you've seen...
I think that note is something important later that they never bring up again.
I know, if we're talking about, like, the Snapped, we should also talk about the Hulu miniseries, Candy.
I have not seen. I have no interest. It wasn't even filmed in Texas.
Okay, but you have to watch it.
And I don't care for Jessica Biel.
I know you don't, and I don't either, but you have to watch it.
It wasn't filmed in Texas. It doesn't make sense.
I know. But you have to watch it. You just have to. And then when the one with Elizabeth Olsen comes out, we're going to watch that one on
excited about that
HBO. We're going to fucking watch both of them. Because I'm telling you right now, first of all, was it like Jessica... fucking, what's her name? Is it Jessica Linsky?
Melanie.
Melanie Linsky. She's fucking solid in it. Okay. But anyway,
All right.
I forgot what I was saying.
Because you're a drunk bitch. Anyway, that'll come back to you tomorrow.
It'll come back to me tomorrow.
Back to June 13th. The police arrive and there's evidence photos of just a bloodbath, would you say?
Literally a fucking slaughter.
Which makes more sense when they find the murder weapon nearby, and it's a fucking axe.
It is not a gun.
And there are wounds all over her body.
Mostly her face.
There's evidence that someone tried to clean up the scene, but there's just like so much blood. Like they
They were
clearly
just
were like,
oh fuck,
nope,
I can't do this.
can't do it. They just gave up. The police do find a thumbprint in blood that doesn't match Betty's, and whoever did the killing was wearing flip-flops, which, who the fuck kills somebody wearing sandals?
Who axes someone wearing sandals?
Like, if I'm going to be murdered and you're wearing sandals, I'm going to be pissed.
Put some goddamn shoes on.
I don't want to see your gross-ass feet. In the bathroom, they can see that someone was in the bathtub trying to clean themselves off, like took a shower and left behind hair.
A lot of hair.
They never really bring up the hair again, though. They're
They
just
do
like,
say
we found hair.
A lot of hair.
They find a copy of the Dallas Morning newspaper with blood marks located on the page for an ad for The Shining, which
Had just come out.
so the original Friday the 13th and The Shining were both released the same month. I would have fucking killed to be there.
Someone did kill.
Not to go to those movies, though.
No, they went to Star Wars.
Which was also that year, yeah. I want to say the second one? 'Cause the first one was 77, right?
Yeah, it's the second one.
Fucking nerds. Drunk nerd bitches. They go next door to interview the neighbor, Richard Parker, and while they're there, his phone rings, and it's Betty's husband on the line because he had been waiting to hear back from Richard.
It's like, he has no idea.
Richard immediately called the cops, but didn't call Alan to let him know, hey, found your wife dead. So Alan's out on the road often for work. He tried to keep in contact with Betty throughout the day. He'd call before he took his flight to Minneapolis. She didn't answer. He gets to his hotel, continues trying to call her for
What's funny
hours.
is, like, he called her because he wanted to give her, like, the traveler checks numbers because they were going to, like, you know,
Europe.
Europe.
I like on the Paris.
Yeah, and so he called with, like, the traveler check numbers, and she didn't answer, and so he was like, okay, I'm gonna, like, record these, and then I'll, like, call her later. And then she still didn't answer, and so that's why he called the neighbor.
Yeah, but it's, like, hours before he finally calls Richard.
Also, this bitch checked in on him often, so he's
But this
not...
was before cell phones, so if you were waiting on a call from someone, you'd have to stand by the phone all day, because, like, otherwise you'd have to tell them your entire plans for the day so they would know when to call back.
Yeah, and so, like, he was used to her calling and checking in on him, and she hadn't called him, and he hadn't heard from her, and so it was, like, a huge thing, like...
Yeah. Because you have, like, small children. Like, you have to go home at some point to, like, put them to bed, and you don't answer the phone.
Yeah, like...
Those phones were very loud and shrill back then.
It was late at night. Like, okay.
Yeah. So, I'm still shocked that he waited until 11 to finally ask Richard to go check on her. That seems a long time.
I feel like did he not ask before then?
I don't remember. I think they were like, hey, just check. But, like, no, this time he's like, go into the house.
Yeah, so I think before 11, he asked him to, like, check. And, like, he was like, oh, her car's there. Like, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, he was like, her car's gone. That's what it was. He said her car is gone. And then when he went at 11, he was like, I'm sorry, like, her car is here. I must have missed it. Like, it is in the garage. And, like, that's when he was like, okay, you need to get in the house.
Yeah. It's very suspicious, according to them, that he's very calm on the phone with the police after hearing about his wife's death, but he just happened to be out of town when she's discovered. Like, I don't know, some of that doesn't make sense. I feel like we know better now about not depending on how someone acts when they find out a loved one has died.
And not to mention, like, he knew that she had been suffering, like, previously with, like, postpartum depression and stuff like that. And, like, I feel like now it would be less suspicious. Like,
yeah, because I feel like now we understand, like, people act differently. Like, the fight or flight or freeze kind of thing is more prevalent.
Right, and I'm more of a freeze kind of person.
Yeah. I feel like if I hear bad news, like, I'm calm. I'm processing it. But then later, yeah.
Right, I'm going to melt down later, but I'm okay at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think that that's how he was.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Betty had her own struggles, and he just had this, like, new kid that was only a year old, and, like, as I know, having suffered, like, postpartum depression, like, it's fucking, like, and what they don't tell you is, like, it's not even just, like, the first couple months, like, it was, like, a fucking, like, almost a year, and I was just like, why the fuck do I feel this way?
I feel like I was able to get through it, though, because I'm bipolar, so already I'm fucked. But back then, this was like mental health things were, as we discussed with last episode stuff.
I am OCD, and so mine only got worse after my second child, and it spiraled uncontrollably to the point that I had to seek help. And that is why I'm medicated today, and thank God. Because I literally, like, mine got so bad, I watched my child fall down the steps, and I was so focused on, like, what I needed to do for my disorder that I couldn't go to keep her from falling, that I was just like, but I have to do this, like, step in my laundry. Fuck this kid falling down the stairs. And that is...
Don't fall.
Yeah, exactly. And just like...
That's how you learn.
Yeah, like, why are you doing this thing that's messing up my ritual? And so...
Stop being a dumb baby. Learn to stand on your own. Come on.
Yeah, so I understand that it can be a struggle. And so
we understand mental health issues.
Exactly. And so I can see why he would be like, my wife's dead? Okay.
Yeah, because, like, usually, like, how I am is, like, okay, I understand this, but I need to focus on what I need to do right in this moment. I'll deal with my emotions later.
Yeah, like, you've got shit to do.
Yeah.
And he had shit to do. And then he's
because he's got to get home. He's got to figure out where the fuck his kids are.
Yeah. And so I can totally understand why he's like, okay, she's dead. Okay.
Yeah. We get to the autopsy where they discover 41 axe wounds on her body, with 28 of those just to her head. So it's a little overkill.
Pretty personal.
Yeah. You can kill someone with just one hit to the head with an axe, so I don't think you need an additional 27. The coffee maker was left on, which, unless it's me drinking the coffee, it only points to a certain amount of time during the day when they would have been drinking.
Yeah.
So with that, Alan still isn't off the hook, because it could have been early morning before he left to go to the airport.
Yeah, they're like, he went to the airport after he axed his wife to death.
Until they figure out the shoe prints at the scene with the flip-flops are too small to be his, unless he's got petite feet, feminine step.
It's like a fucking size 5.
They're more, yeah. I would kill to be a size 5.
I would just like to say that, like, my 12-year-old is, like, more than a size.
I'm so jealous of your tiny little dainty feet.
My 12-year-old's like a men's size 8.
She's got the same feet as me. I'm a grown-ass woman. That's all right, baby bird. I'll help you through this world. And yet I fall all the time. I don't understand that. I'm very clumsy, and yet you would think with my big-ass feet, I'm only 5'3". I should be pretty well leveled.
Like a firm plant.
Yes! Anyway, I got issues. Police come over to talk to Alan again, and one of Betty's brothers take the officer to the side. This is a weird side note to it. To report weird calls coming in from someone claiming to be the killer, so the cops put a trace on the phone. Don't know why this is included. Turns out it's somebody from a mental hospital. Not involved.
Clearly never left to murder her. Like, it's just like...
Don't know why it's included in this.
It's like a weird sidestep.
I thought it was going to be like, oh, maybe they find out about this affair, but no, it was just...
some cuckoo in the cuckoo farm.
Why do we bring this part up? The cops also talked to a neighbor's 5-year-old daughter who reported going over to Betty's house to play with her daughter, Alicia, but no one answered. And then later she sees Candy leaving the Gore home at about 11 a.m., who she recognizes because she's friends with Betty and Candy's daughters. Everybody's daughters are friends.
Small town.
But now we have a new witness who last saw Betty alive.
And that would be Candy.
Candy had been running errands all morning and stopped off at Betty's house to pick up a swimsuit for Alicia, who would be spending the night at Candy's. It was kind of confusing. I think she had already spent the night, and Candy was going to take her to swim lessons.
She wanted her to stay the night again.
They don't really get into it that much in this. They chatted.
She wanted her to see the Star Wars movie.
Star Wars? So here's $10. Go see
a
Star Wars.
I was about to say the same thing.
They chatted for a little while, and then Candy went back to church around noon for lunch. She's very forthcoming with the police, but at this point, everyone's still a suspect, so they go ahead and take her prints, and Candy's like, okay, cool. It's my friend's house, though, so, like, don't be surprised if you find my prints there. June 16th, a few hours after Betty's funeral, which seems really fast for a murder victim.
Yeah.
Like, she's murdered on the 13th, and the 16th, you're already having a funeral?
Did you even have a chance to look at her body?
This is before DNA. I mean, look at her. She was murdered. We know that. Next. The police finally sit down with Betty's husband, Alan, and he basically gives the same statement as before until the next day when he calls the police and confesses that he had been having an affair for about 1.5 years with Candy fucking Montgomery. Da-da-da. And I love that their hot, passionate love affair started after a church volleyball game.
Where they accidentally made contact, and then she, like, got in his car, and she was like, I have the hots for you.
Yeah, as they're walking to the car, she was like, I'm attracted to you. We should start an affair. Does that work? Can
Apparently
you just, like, go up to somebody and be like, I think you're hot. Can we have an affair?
I think it does.
Shit. I don't have the time. And he agrees to it as long as it just stays physical. I don't want you going and falling in love with me.
Don't kiss me on the lips.
So, I read one thing, like, there was a specific date the affair started. Where did they get that information from?
I don't know, but I read the Texas Monthly article.
December 12th. It's a very specific day.
They were really specific in their details in the Texas Monthly article.
But see, when I hear things like that, I'm like, well, then this wasn't like it ended, we agreed, it's fine, we're over it. Like, if you know the specific day, like, I feel like you're holding on to that.
I feel like they did.
But we'll get into that. The affair is going fine until Betty and Alan attended that marriage counseling thing, and all of a sudden he gets a conscience and wants to end the affair. And according to him, the affair had been done for 6 months before Betty died. She never knew about it. He said, like, they ended the affair, everything was fine. You go your way, I'll go my way.
I don't buy that.
I don't either. Because I'm like, well, then how do you know the exact date? Like, why would you keep that? If one of them wrote it down, like, I assume her. I want to say it's her. I don't know why.
I know why.
So he takes a polygraph, passes, and they clear him of suspicion. During the summer, most churches have like that vacation Bible study school. It's like a week where the kids just hang out during the day instead of just sitting at home by themselves. And Candy had been volunteering there on the 13th. The police head up there to talk to the other people who would have been working with her that day. And one woman testifies that Candy said she was going over to Betty's for the swimsuit and had been gone for over an hour. Longer than she said she would be gone. And not only that, she showed back up in a different outfit.
A different shoes.
Something with longer sleeves and a higher neckline, which Texas summer heat, it makes sense.
She was like, oh my God, I would be dead.
Yeah. Yeah, different shoes. Police really want to talk to Candy now, but she stops cooperating. It's the damnedest thing. The police had found that thumbprint in the blood at the crime scene, but were unable to lift it. They did, however, have a pretty good picture of it, which I can agree with. Even from the 80s, it's pretty decent quality.
It's a nice pic.
And they matched that to the prints they have on file from Candy. And she wears a size 5 shoe, which matches the prints at the scene. 42 years later, still don't know exactly what happened.
I'm pretty sure I know.
I forgot you're an expert. Alan says Betty didn't know about the affair with Candy, but Something must have come up between the two of them for Candy to just get so upset she grabs an axe and attacks her close friend, hitting her over 40 times. June 27th, Candy is arrested. Now, these officers are gentlemen, so they ask the female jailers to strip search her, and that's when they discover bruises all over her body, and the biggest thing I remember from reading the book, the giant cut to one of her toes.
Yes. The axe to her toe.
Something you could get from swinging an axe. October 1980, the trial starts, and Candy is claiming self-defense. 41 blows from an axe, but self-defense. Okay. She takes the stand and says she went over to Betty's to get the swimsuit, and Betty went out to the garage and came back with an axe and somehow knew that not only was her husband having an affair, but it was with Candy. She's a brilliant mind reader. She goes after Candy with the axe, and that's how Candy's foot got cut, was from the axe. Normal people might buy this, but I have a little bit of experience with this sort of thing. As a teenager, you know, you're dumb. You do some dumb stuff, especially when you're hanging out with guys. We decided to break up a plastic picnic table with a pickaxe. My turn. I missed. Hit my foot.
So you were chopping with an axe.
Yeah, a pickaxe.
Similar enough.
I figured that's close. It's a long weapon. You're swinging. I hit my foot with it.
And you lost a toe.
No, I didn't lose a toe, but it was like the last day of school, so like my summer was pretty much fucked after that.
Because you lost a toe.
Still have the scar.
I too lost a toe. I'm just kidding.
I didn't.
I'm just kidding. I didn't lose a toe.
But it's like, I can understand you're swinging the axe and it comes down, hits your foot. I have experience with that.
Yeah, no, yeah, her
so
fucking
it's very
BS
plausible.
lie.
Yeah.
She didn't get hit with the axe.
No.
She was swinging the axe.
That's why I was like, okay, I have I experienced this. I can understand, like, no, you're swinging and hit yourself. Like, that happens.
Yeah, her, like, BS that, like, Betty swung the axe and it hit her toe, and then she did the whole shh thing, and, like...
Yeah, we'll get
to it,
we'll
yeah.
get into that. So I know how to swing heavy weapon, hit your own foot. So anyway, Candy's eventually able to get the axe and knocks Betty down. And as she runs for the door, Betty jumps up and goes after Candy again. And that's when Candy started slashing at her with the axe, killing her. Her attorney's telling the story, and I hate his fucking face because he has like this grin as he's telling the story, like... He knows it's bullshit. He can't believe how this story ends. I don't like him.
It's some bullshit.
So, Candy was put under hypnosis by a psychiatrist who determined that when Betty shushed her after hitting her foot with the axe, it triggered some childhood trauma, and that's when she snapped.
That's some bullshit.
Like, we don't have childhood trauma. The trial only lasts 8 days, and there's 3 men and 9 women who find her not guilty. I can't believe 9 women.
She axed her affair partner's wife to death.
Yes.
41 times and was found not guilty. I am appalled.
That these women heard that this woman had an affair with somebody else's husband and then killed that woman, and they were like, not guilty.
She absolutely did not kill her in self-defense.
It's fucking insane. As she left the courtroom, the crowd outside yelled "murderer" at her, rightfully so. Soon after, Alan Gore moved out of state, got remarried. I read he might have lost custody of his daughters to his former in-laws. There were some allegations of abuse. Last I saw, he was living in Sarasota, Florida. I think he's divorced. He's in a domestic partnership with somebody. And
he got married really quickly after Betty died, which I found suspicious.
But I feel like it's like, okay, well, these kids need a mother figure.
And he's making good money. And so I'm sure he was just like,
yeah, he lost custody of his daughters. I saw that they're Facebook friends. I'm not going to get really deep into their lives, but because they were victims too. Candy and Pat moved to Georgia and got divorced because murdering the wife of the guy you were having an affair with doesn't make for a great marriage partner.
No, it doesn't.
I'm assuming.
I can't believe they didn't get divorced, like, immediately.
Oh, absolutely. All I can find is that Candy lives in a southern state and goes by her maiden name Wheeler and might be working as a mental health therapist, which is frightening.
Because she didn't have really good skills with her mental health.
Because she's a murderer.
Yeah. I even texted you and I was like, do you think that Candy killed her in self-defense? And you were like, fuck no.
I think I was like, abso-fucking-lutely not.
Yeah, no. I think that she killed her because she was worried about the whole story getting out and her whole perfect life getting ruined.
Well, and I feel like she heard, like, oh, your marriage is great. You guys are going to Europe. And
yeah,
she got jealous. Because, like, Candy was not happy with her life. She didn't want to settle down. She wanted to go out and have fun. And
no, I think that she
was jealous because her life was boring. And
I think that she absolutely killed her, and it was not self-defense, and I think that she should have gone to prison.
Because, yeah, that's the thing, like, he says Betty didn't know about the affair. Like, if you find out your husband's having an affair with someone, are you going to call that person or call your husband?
Yeah, you're going to call that person.
What? Well, I'm calling my fucking husband and asking what the fuck is going on.
She knew, though. It was her fucking friend.
I don't care. I'm going after my husband.
I think Betty had, like, a suspicion.
That's just insane.
But I don't think that, like, Betty attacked
Like, I can
her.
understand knowing, like, okay, my husband's having an affair, but to find out specifically who it was, like...
I don't think that, like, Betty attacked her because she was having an affair with her. I think that, like, she attacked her. Like
you got into, like,
Betty.
a verbal argument, but...
Yeah, I don't think that Betty was like, oh my god, you're having an affair with my husband, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I do think that she had, like, suspicion that, like, maybe Candy was having an affair with her husband.
I don't know. You know more than me.
I don't know.
So, can't get enough of this story. There is a 1980s made-for-TV movie based on the case called A Killing in a Small Town. Barbara Hershey plays the Candy character. If you've seen any of the Insidious movies, you know who Barbara Hershey is. She's like the grandma. She used to be super hot. You can find it on YouTube for free. Candy, the 5-episode miniseries on Hulu, premiered this week of the recording on May 9th and stars Jessica Biel as Candy. And once I read it wasn't even filmed in Texas, like, I lost interest.
But there's an HBO one.
The made-for-TV one was filmed in Plano. At the Plano Target. But it was filmed at Plano.
I'm going to the Plano Target, so it may take me a little while.
And finally, we have Love and Death, HBO's answer to the story. I haven't been able to find a release date other than sometime 2022.
I haven't either, and I'm so upset about that. But also, in the Hulu one, when she talks about, like, she's like, I'm going to go to the Plano Target. And then she's like, I went to the Plano Target, and I got there, and I realized the time, and I didn't even go in. Like, she was totally building her alibi in this, like, Hulu documentary. Like, she's like, I realized, like, I got talking to Betty, and I got, my watch must have stopped, and I got to the Plano Target, and then I realized the time, and I didn't even go in, and she, like, missed her kids, like...
I think I do remember that from the book. She was going to go to a store, and she realized what time it was, and...
Yeah, like, she, like, said, like, several times, like, I was going to go to the Plano Target to get your Father's Day card, and I, like, realized the time or whatever it was, and I didn't even go in. Like, she was totally, like, building an alibi in this. Like, I'm saying, like, she didn't fucking kill her on accident. That's all I'm saying.
So, yeah, this one will star Elizabeth Olsen as Candy, which, if you have seen the new Doctor Strange movie...
Dude, Elizabeth
Olsen, why wasn't she the more popular one? Why are the twins, like... growing up, like, why were they getting more acting roles? Because this bitch can act.
She is fucking phenomenal. I mean, you saw the WandaVision.
Oh, Doctor Strange, like, she's amazing.
Yeah. Like, WandaVision, like, my fucking 12-year-old was, like,
no, this
in
movie
on
is like,
it.
she's way more like showing emotion, and
She's a fucking phenomenal actress. And
fuck the other two. She should have been getting all these roles.
yeah, like, fucking Elizabeth Olsen. We got so much good shit coming to TV right now.
Yep.
So, anyway, Candy Montgomery is a murderer.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with this drunk bitch.
I am a drunk bitch. Bye.
That's a drunk bitch. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Doc to Me. The opening music is by Twisterium. For comments or suggestions, we can be reached by email at doctomepod@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter at doctomepod and find a link to our Facebook group in the show notes. Thank you.